Welcome back to 504 Road Trips. Today we're reporting to you from the suburbs of New Orleans and Jefferson Parish, where we're beginning to see the effects of potential Tropical Cyclone number 3. We'll be reporting to you throughout this event as conditions permit. A disturbance in the central Gulf of Mexico has been designated potential Tropical Cyclone 3 by the National Hurricane Center and could be named Subtropical Storm Cindy on Tuesday. The system will be a soaker and a flooding concern for parts of the south through late this week. Gusty winds, rip currents, and isolated tornadoes are also expected. A tropical storm warning has been issued from Cameron, Louisiana to the mouth of the Pearl River. Tropical storm conditions are expected within 36 hours. A tropical storm watch is in effect from west of Cameron, Louisiana to High Island, Texas, which means tropical storm conditions are possible within 48 hours. Tropical storm conditions are expected to first reach the Louisiana coast within the warning area by Tuesday afternoon. These conditions are possible within the watch area Wednesday.
There are approximately 81 different combinations of social security card games. Tune into Investing Sense, brought to you by Financial Legend. Saturday morning at 9 or visit investingsense.com. Custom engagement ring.
And designer prototypes. We've got everything.
Ramsey's Diamond Jewelry. It's Tommy Tucker on WWL, live from our Ladder and Bloom studio. Call 504-260-1870, text 870-870, or tweet at @TuckerWWL. Just trying to keep you apprised of everything you should know, and maybe a little precursor of hurricane season. I can't say dry run, let's say rehearsal. Our following guest spent her career in education before becoming president of St. John the Baptist Parish, so I would suggest you sit up straight in your chair. Good morning, Natalie Rowbottom. How are you?
Good morning.
You did used to be a teacher, did you know?
Actually, on speech pathologist, but in the public school system.
That's what?
But I said teacher.
I'm sorry. Tell me about St. John the Baptist Parish, what you all are expecting, flood risk, etc.
You know, obviously it's always a concern for us when the weather shifts, and we do want to encourage our residents to be weather ready. We've had about 20 inches of rain since the beginning of May. So we've had episodes of flooding and heavy rainfall with as much as 4 inches in an hour, which has caused localized flooding, and we're very concerned about this new event that's out in the Gulf. Our tides out at Lake Pontchartrain and Lake Marfa are slightly elevated, and we're anticipating that with this system they're going to rise even more, which to us that means that our roadways and Highway 51, T-Vine, and some of our low-lying areas will have water on the roadways. So we want to caution our residents about driving through roadways that are flooded. We do have high water signs, but you know, a lot of our homeowners are concerned when people drive quickly through the water that they're pushing water into their homes. So we're asking them to please be considerate. The safest place to be is off the road, especially if there's flooding that occurs.
And I don't know politically if you want to say this, but I will. Eventually, inevitably, there are idiots who don't listen and don't realize the damage they're doing. Is the police department going to be aggressively kind of enforcing that to keep that from happening?
Absolutely. We're actually, the sheriff's office are our partners. We've been meeting all week, and we're ready. We had these episodes before. They're out there many times. There are eyes on the roadway, as well as our fire department. They are going to be monitoring this very carefully, and they are going to be enforcing and closing roads if need be.
In terms of flooding that has happened in the past in St. John the Baptist Parish, has anything been done to keep anything like that from happening again? Because I remember those images of, you know, in different areas it happens with people from LaFosse dragging their carpeting and everything else out.
You know, it's horrible, and we remain very vulnerable to that type of flooding because we haven't fully completed our levee system. We're farther along than we've ever been. There is a bill that includes our project. However, we are working with our legislative delegation, and unfortunately, Congressman Scalise, who was a champion for Louisiana, is you know, fighting for his life, and we do want to keep him in our prayers. But we do need the rest of our delegation to fight for funding for this project. But in the meantime, you know, our parish has done several projects to assist with drainage. However, our entire system is not drained by pump. We have a lot of grass and flow systems that are very dependent on the tide, they're dependent on the lake levels, and they're dependent on the wind direction. And of course, in addition We're continuing to do that. Our staff is out and about, cleaning catch basins. We're putting out the same information that everyone else is, because this system is affecting more than St. John Parish. We need help with cleaning our catch basins, making sure the drains are uncovered, letting us know if there's a problem. And our system for doing that is by calling 911. We frequently bring in additional operators during these types of events. All of our first responders are dispatched through that office. It also allows us to track what's happening, and so we encourage our residents to use that system. Also, our official source of information is our parish's website or our parish's Facebook page. If it's not on one of those sources, then it may not be coming from us. So I encourage you, if you're interested in keeping up with what's happening, follow those two sites. And as always, we encourage them to sign up for alerts through sjbparish.com, and you can get these alerts on your phone, through text, through call, through email, and of course that is the accurate source of information. So if they haven't signed up, you can do it online. If not, you can call our office and someone will sign you up, with your information. But that's our source of information. But we're relying, Tommy, very heavily on you guys, because you're constantly on the air providing information, and I know we send it to you. We are not the weather system or service. We are relaying information that's being provided to us through the National Weather Service. Now, they're concerned because they feel very confident that we're going to get a lot of rain and a lot of water. They just can't predict exactly where that's going to occur. And we know that happens here because there are times when La Place is flooded and Reserve is dry, or the West Bank is flooded and there's nothing happening on the East Bank. So it could be extremely localized. So just because it's not raining in your area doesn't mean that we're not experiencing some type of downpour in another area of the parish. So we are concerned, and we need our residents to take heed, to look back at what has happened over the last 6 weeks and know areas that are prone to flooding, know what you need to do to protect your family and your property, and start taking action now.
In terms of areas that have flooded in the past and the direction of this storm and predicting, or as close as the Weather Service can with how much water is going to be pushed up where, is that a considerable concern, or would you say the rain is more of a concern, or both?
The rain is the primary concern, and they're expecting possibly 4 to 8 inches of rain with as high as 20 inches. Again, it just depends on, one, how quickly the system moves, where it moves to, and what the current conditions are in those areas. Of course, we always run the threat. As I said, our lakes are slightly high based on high tide. We know, depending on the direction of this event, it can push water into both of our lakes, which causes problems with regards to tidal flooding, but it also impacts our ability to drain. Because if either of our lakes are higher than our internal drainage system, we will not drain.
In terms of, and I don't know if there's any way to estimate this, I know here, if it's an old pumping system, they always say an inch the first hour and a half an inch thereafter. With a combination gravity and pumping system, do you have any idea how much rain an hour the parish, and it might be a dumb question, but how much rain an hour the parish can withstand and successfully move?
Well, with our pumping system, the whole same thing holds true for us. If we can keep up with that 1 inch in the first hour and a half an inch, but that's not been the trend of the rain that's occurred. Mm-hmm. We've gotten 3 inches in a half an hour, 4 inches in an hour. Well, we're starting off on the wrong foot, and that's with our pumping system. So keep in mind, many of our major canals aren't on pumps, so those are strictly gravity slopes. What we have noticed, though, and we've done a lot of research and assessment over this last 6 weeks. We've had drones flying over our canals. We've been on airboat rides trying to determine if there's anything out there that's inhibiting the water from draining. But we're not finding anything significant. What we're finding is, after the rain stops, within 30 minutes, it drains. But it's during that time period when we're getting these flash floods and large amounts of rain in a short period of time that is the most unsafe for our residents. And again, there's not necessarily anything we can do about that, but warn you that if you're getting pounded by rain, stay off the road, anticipate flooding, but also know that we have staff that's out there and that
We're busy. I know you have to go. You do quickly in terms of closings, just call the location for summer camps, etc.
Yes, we are actually going to have a meeting at 9 o'clock in the morning. Our school personnel has been involved in our meetings, the sheriff's office. We've brought in our EOC staff, and they're contacting our nursing homes and hospitals, just putting everyone on notice that the potential is there. We will make a decision earlier this morning on if any closure should take place. Again, our problem is, as always, that, we know there's going to be a huge impact. We just don't know where, and the weather service cannot predict that as of yet because the system hasn't completely formed.
Ms. Rowbottom, thank you so much. And as you said earlier, we disseminate the information so you know the number. Let us know. We'll pass it along.
Thank you very much.
You too. Thank you, ma'am. Have a great day. And best of luck to St. John the Baptist Parish. 825, here's traffic now on WWL.
This concludes this morning's coverage of potential Tropical Cyclone 3. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, like, share, comment below, follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and join us for our next 504 road trip.